is Doug.
My name is Steven.
My name is Antonio.
My name is Tony.
Hi, I'm Steve.
My name is Larry.
My name is Aaron.
My name is Tim.
My name is Lane.
My name is Mark.
My name is Kelly.
My name is Andrew, and these are my children, Seth and Georgia.
My name is Bob.
My name is Mark.
I grew up in Marshall, Texas.
San Jose, California.
In Detroit, Michigan.
In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
In Toronto, Canada.
In Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
I grew up in Riverside, California.
You were born in Riverside. Where are you growing up right now?
South Pasadena.
I was born in Vietnam.
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
In Montreal, Canada.
In Los Angeles.
In Lakeland, Florida.
I grew up in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio.
I grew up in a family with a dad who knew one way of being, and it wasn't really a flexible environment. And so that was really tough for me. My mother was very nurturing, but we were in a small town, and it was really hard to be anything but kind of what we were given, and that was what we did.
I thought there was nobody else like me out there.
I'm an only child, and I have parents who are older and from the South.
I think I became aware that I was gay and knew that I was gay when I was about 13. And I remember, I think I was unbelievably cruel to other kids I perceived as gay, because that was my own mechanism to deal with it.
I knew that kids were making fun of other kids who they thought were gay, so I decided that I wasn't going to be gay.
A few of my friends were not capable of handling it, and they went away. And that was not a good thing, but I made new friends, and that's made it all the better now.
I dated a little bit with girls. I tried to hide as much as possible from it, but I was certainly not willing to say that I was gay.
Actually, I had got cancer. It took cancer to get me to come out. And when I laid in that hospital bed in the hospital, I said, this is ridiculous. I have to be who I am. And that made me come out. And then I went and told my parents. And since I was the kid with cancer, they couldn't do too much to me.
You know what is funny is growing up, before I even knew I was gay, I always was different. And I think that especially when you're younger, right, you may not think about it in terms of being gay. And I think being different, you have to decide whether you're going to embrace your difference or try to hide it.
The first person I really came out to was my mother. I was looking for the right time, and there was never the right time. So I just told her, and she cried, and she understood, and she was, what was important to her is that she loved me.
There was still a lot of shame attached to it until I was 19 and I met him.
Well, I turned and saw him coming down the hall, and I thought to myself, who is that? He's so cute. He had like this big head of curly hair, and he was just
sad.
So cute. He was so cute, and I just thought, I was immediately attracted to him.
So I met my husband Mark in San Francisco, and from the first moment I knew there was something there, and I knew that he was really somebody special, and possibly someone that I could live the rest of my life with.
It was a beautiful day on the beach, and we had all of our family and friends surrounding us. And at that time, I looked around, and I never would have thought, I could never have imagined as a teenager that one day I'd be, getting married to a man with my family and my friends surrounding us.
Over the years, once I found out who I was able to make a family that I wanted. It's really amazing to know that I can have that. It's something I always wanted, but I didn't think it was going to be possible for me.
The moment I became a father was the most spectacular day of my entire life. I was in the hospital holding my newborn son with my partner, and the two of us just could not stop smiling and touching and oohing and eyeing.
There was a show out when I was a kid called The Courtship of Eddie's Father. And it was about this dad and his son. And for some reason, that was the vision I always had in my head. I never really envisioned a wife. I didn't necessarily envision another dad. It was just me and a son. So I always had this sort of picture in the back of my head.
My partner and I had gotten TiVo And in one weekend, it recorded 3 documentaries on gay parenting. We watched all 3 back-to-back on a rainy Sunday, and I sobbed through all of them. And he turned to me at the end of that 5 hours or whatever it was and said, do we have something we need to talk about?
We went to the nursery in the hospital, and Steve and I were there and actually escorted into the nursery. And men were not allowed in there usually. But they didn't know what to do because there was no mom. So they escorted us in, and there were dads outside the window looking in. Why are they in there?
It was a breathtaking moment. It was a dream come true. We had been together for 24 years when we had our first child.
Having family has always been a dream all my life.
Now we have a 4-year-old son.
We have twins who are 3.5.
Ella is 11 years old and Sander is 7 years old.
We were there when she was born, and it stood out for me because it's one of the few times that I saw my partner just cry. We were just so happy and heard her first cry and held her for the first time. I mean, I just get chills talking about it because it's something that's really hard to describe. And we adopted her, but she was so completely mine and so completely ours from the very first moment.
Our son had heart surgery probably early on in his life. He has a condition called tetralogy of Fallot. Once he had surgery, he was fine. But I remember everybody surrounding us at Children's Hospital when he was having surgery, and everybody was concerned, but they knew he'd be just fine.
We got home and I put the diaper on backwards, and then there were thousands more after that for Yoni and for Shai, for our second child.
Love at first sight. I'll never forget that day when each one of them came up in a room in a DCS office on Wilshire Boulevard and introduced themselves.
It was amazing. I actually got to see them from afar because I had arrived early and I was sitting in the office and I saw these 2 little guys running around, and I thought, I wonder is that them? Because I wasn't sure at the time. And then when we were taken up and I actually met them, I was happy to know that it was them, and it was probably one of the most exciting days of my life.
It was overwhelming. It was literally life-changing.
In a second.
We named her after my grandmother, who is from a completely different generation, but we feel that she really watched over us the whole time from heaven.
I remember Antonio and I driving home just thinking, wow, well, I'm obviously white, my partner is black, and these boys are Latino, and we just thought, we never imagined we'd have such a diverse little family. And it's been amazing, absolutely amazing.
And I loved holding her in my arms and rocking her to sleep, and that's how she would fall asleep for the first 9 months would be. It was always in the same way on this side with her arm down and her shoulder on my arm.
Be true to yourself. Be okay with who you are. Wow.
I think I told myself that a lot. I really wished I had believed it then.
Know that you're normal and that the feelings that you have, they are a part of you. They're who you are and God made you that way. Those are things that I didn't know growing up.
Day by day, week by week, year by year is part of it, but eventually it gets better and it just keeps getting better and getting better, and it's fantastic now.
Dare to dream who you want to be and become that person. And it does get better.
It does get better, but it's also up to you to make it better. Follow your dreams.
You have to allow other people their process and their time to change.
Get over it. It's not a worry. Don't worry about what other people think. Just move on.
I fundamentally believe that a predator knows its prey. And if one sees you as someone that they can victimize, they tend to do that. So whatever it takes for you to feel good about who you are and not allow yourself to be disrespected, that's what I recommend. Because that's going to make the difference.
We're not the norm or whatever, we're not the majority, but that doesn't matter to them. We're just part of the mix, which is the way it should be.
We're just Papa and Daddy.
Yeah.
Love is possible, a family, whatever that means for you is all possible.
I'm too, Papa.
Okay, go Danny and go get a juice.
Okay.
It gets better.
It certainly gets better.
It 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 gets better, really better.
It gets better. Definitely.
It gets better.